Welcome to our LinkedIn Live event. I'm so glad to have you here. We're starting with a question. Which look is your favorite? Drop a comment and let us know. Are you group A, B, or C? If you can't comment, make sure you're connected with me. Let's get this conversation going in the comments. We welcome you all here live today. I'm especially excited about today's session. And today's session is LinkedIn Live, Weaving Love, Hope, and Business, the Azizi life story. Today, my guest is a very dear friend of mine, Christy Whitekettle. She's an amazing woman sharing an amazing story. And in fact, one thing that makes her unique of all the guests I've ever had is we've actually known each other since preschool. Crazy, but true. And our topic today is Azizi life. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm a verbal branding expert joining you live from Vienna, Austria. And my goal is empowering my clients and you to speak up, share your story, and expand your influence and increase your impact. If you think these topics are interesting and you want to share it with others, caring is sharing. So please share the link, let others know so they can join the conversation live as well. We hope to keep this quite interactive and fun today. That's our goal. So while I don't see the comments living up, oh dear. I did have a huge problem with LinkedIn yesterday, so I'm still doing a tech check on this side to make sure. Go ahead and write some comments to let me know you can see and hear us, because that's kind of important. Would love to know that. Yes, I'm seeing some comments coming in. Oh dear. I did have a huge problem. That's good. That is tech check on this side to make sure. Fantastic. And everything is going delightfully. So now, without further ado, I'm going to invite my guest, Christy, onto the stage. Welcome, Christy. Oh, welcome.
Hi.
Let's get you a little bit bigger. And I'm going to ask you, Christy, of this vote, which look is your favorite?
This is a hard one because Group A is a specially designed set by Macy White Designs, which is beautifully simple. B is made by one of our artisans from an image that we showed her, which takes an amazing amount of skill. C is from our local and host collection. I would have to say C for me. And I actually realized that I have not one, but two Zuba designed trivets right here in my home. But I just love the sunny nature of the Zuba and Zubitas.
It is. I feel I'm definitely drawn towards C. For me, it's a toss-up between A and C. I love the simplicity and the boldness of A, but that C just speaks to my heart, speaks to joy. I also notice in your background, you have a nice bowl set.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that, should we have had that in the
bowls together? Yeah.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. So now, Christy, for someone just joining us now, because I see people are clicking in now as we're speaking live, for someone just joining us now, trying to understand Azizi life, trying to understand your story, who you are, what you do, what do you think they will gain or they will get from this session today?
Welcome everybody. Excited that you're here. And I think I'm really excited to share my story and the Azizi life story to encourage everybody about what is possible in the space of sustainable economic development, how love integrates into business. So I'm hoping that it will be inspiring, encouraging, as you hear our story. Yeah.
I love that. I'm just double checking, having a bit of strangeness here, but we are here for it. We're here for the conversation. So
We're here
that
for it. And that's actually part of the story, is like how challenges help us to rise to the next level, and how our imperfections can be embraced and kind of woven into the story. So
oh, that is a beautiful segue. I love that. Let's just jump in. Let's jump
yeah.
in. Yeah. So let's back up and let's start with
Yep.
your story. So, as I mentioned, we went to preschool together. We kind of grew up together in Pennsylvania, USA. And now
Yep.
you're living in Rwanda. In fact,
That's right.
that's a question I would also be interested to know, not only from our live listeners, but also from our replay listeners. Have you ever been to Rwanda? And you can see with the arrow, chung, chung, there's Rwanda. Have you ever been to Rwanda? Hello, Maro. Hello, Nancy. So good to see you here. Please comment so I can call out your name. So excited to have you here, and interactivity is our goal. So have you ever
Yes,
been to
and shout out
Rwanda?
to all my Rwanda peeps, those who have been a part of the story, those who are here now. And if you haven't been to Rwanda, it is gorgeous, like really beautiful every day, beautiful hills. Everywhere you turn is like a scenic overlook. So it is definitely worth being on a person's bucket list.
And it's definitely on my bucket list for about 17 years now. I also see that Adrieliza Joy joined, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but definitely glad to have you here. Welcome to everyone. And yeah, if you've been to Rwanda, drop that in the comments. If you've been to Africa, let us know where. Very curious about that today. So what I'd like to do now is to jump into your story. As I mentioned, we both started in Pennsylvania. How did your story with Azizi life begin? Take us back in time.
Well, I'm going to start by saying that there was a long time in my life when you could, like, literally could not have paid me to be a part of business or sales or anything like that. Yeah, but the place where my path shifted was at the intersection of realizing anew about the need in the world and just how many people are suffering around the world, and wanting to live my life for God and in His love, and really wondering, like, what can I do in the world that would make a difference, that would help to alleviate people's suffering. And I acknowledged that, like, if I stay in the business of my life, doing what I love, I was doing recreation in a nursing home.
In Norristown, Pennsylvania.
That's right. You probably remember that phase. I was loving it, but I was like, talking to myself, I was like, girlfriend, if you stay in the busyness of life, like, you are so prone to distraction. I don't know if you will take action in the way that, like, I was really feeling compelled to take action. And so my prayer that God would allow me to serve somewhere in the world doing something that would be useful led me on a 4-year journey that led me eventually to really respect and admire the work of Food for the Hungry. So they are an international NGO that care for people in an integrated way, spiritually, physically, relationally, thinking about the environment. Actually, there are.
And if I remember, this was how you first started your journey in Africa, in Rwanda.
That's
and
right.
Previously,
That's right.
you hadn't been there at all. Is that?
I had never been there. Nope.
Yeah.
I had been to Cape Town, South Africa for 6 weeks when I was in college, which is great. and shout out to Stradwerk friends. But yeah, this was brand new. Yeah. And I think there are some friends in the event who have helped me to get to Rwanda. So hello friends. Hey Beth. Hey Heather. Yeah. So that path eventually led me to working with Food for the Hungry in Rwanda as a volunteer.
And I also see ARPA just joined us as well. Welcome.
Hey, ARPA. Yeah. So, but even when I arrived working with Food for the Hungry, I didn't have a clear idea of what I was going to do. Food for the Hungry was doing great work. They were working in education and in health and in agriculture. But it took me a little while to figure out where I was going to fit. But through the Food for the Hungry programs, they had some relationships with artisans.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is where our story starts to turn towards artisan-centered business.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this for you was kind of a light bulb moment, it almost sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So I wanted to introduce everybody to some of the first ladies that we met through Food for the Hungry. Okay. So these are ladies who I love. I get to see them like once or twice a month. I would like to introduce everyone to Restud, Yusita, Alice, who has the most contagious laugh, Siparata, Fortunata, Florida, and Silvery. These are women.
So these are the names of this group. Okay.
Yes, these are the names of the ladies who you're seeing in this picture who are part of this weaving cooperative. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So we visited these ladies in the like house where they were gathering to weave, and they started telling us their stories, and we realized that they were gathered together, they're organized, they're making beautiful things. They have a vision for the future, and they're like selling some in Rwanda, but what they were able to earn from their sales was like sometimes not even enough to cover the cost of the raw materials.
Oh dear.
Yeah. And so what my colleagues and I thought was like, okay, if these women had access to the market, to economic opportunity, they are poised to do for themselves all the good things that organizations like Food for the Hungry are doing, but like for their own families. And so that's how our wheels started turning towards artisan-centered business.
I love this. I love that it was through conversation, through sharing their story, that sparked the ideas in you and the others from Food for the Hungry, that sparked the beginning of a new story.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm such a fan of stories. So let's continue.
So you'll see on the next slide who I was with at that time. So I also wanted to introduce you to Janine and Tom, who may also be here. Hey guys. At that time in 2007, like I said, so I was coming from this with a sociology degree, so not very many practical skills, having worked with the elderly and no interest in business. But that same summer of 2007, Tom McGregor came from England, and he was entrepreneurially.
And he's the one on the right.
He is the one who is a British man.
Okay.
Yes. He's on my right.
Oh.
On the screen. Yes. I got stuck on like stage right, my right, your right. Yes. Tom's the right. Tom's the one. And Janine was a recent high school grad. She had big plans that had fallen through. She was surprised to find herself like running everything at the little guest house where we were staying. And she started working with us for translation. So we were together, and that first time we met Florida and her cooperative that you saw. So we were a little bit of a motley crew, a very kind of humorous combination of people. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
showing up, being present.
Showing up, yeah. And God has been really kind and used us for things that we never would have expected at that time. Yeah. So I want to show you what our team looks like now. Ta-da!
Wow.
Yeah. So there's
a little bit of growth there.
And me, Tom, I've worn the same dress so you can be assured that it's actually me. And and a big staff. So we just really love our team. We have a great team. And Janine, it turns out, so you'll remember that she was a disappointed high school student when we met her. It turns out that she is one of the most natural leaders I have ever met on any continent. And we have all grown up together, built Azizi Life bit by bit. And now Janine is leading us as the CEO and doing an amazing job. So we're really thankful to be under her leadership.
Wow. Yeah. And it looks like not only a huge growth in the number of people, but it also looks like you have majority local.
Yes. So from the beginning, our desire was that Azizi Life would be owned and operated by our Rwandan colleagues. Our goal was within 10 years, and by 9 years, that was the case. Yeah. Nice. So Tom and I are still here in Rwanda, and we're still on the team. But the great majority of all the operations are being run by our Rwandan colleagues.
Now, if we can back up a second, this Azizi Life, can you just give us a small window into, in case someone isn't familiar with the word or what the meaning is? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Okay, so Azizi is an old school Swahili word. So a language common in East Africa, and it comes from the Arabic. So you may have heard people named Aziz, like comedian Aziz Ansari. So it's kind of a sweet term, which means like precious or treasured. And so Azizi Life comes from our belief that every person's life is treasured and valuable. And that we and the products and everything about what we do is created for beautiful life.
I love that. So let's continue on. Should I go to the next slide?
Oh, yeah. Yes, thanks. Yeah, I'm excited to tell you about how we've grown with our artisan partners. So artisans like Florida and her group, you'll see on the next slide that through the connections with Food for the Hungry, we started with relationships with about 16 similar groups, and you can show us the next slide there. Yeah, so we were with Florida and her group and about 15 other groups, so maybe about 145 artisans in those groups. So
they were already there, that you were just connecting. Okay.
Yeah, Rwanda is filled with different artisan cooperatives, and there's a lot of entrepreneurship here. We really recognize the value of human capital in Rwanda, and so there are lots of existing cooperatives with which we could connect, and lots of people having different skills in different areas. Some are weaving with banana leaves, and some with sisal fibers, and some with other materials, some carving wood. Yeah. So in 2008, Azizi Life was founded as an organization, and we had these initial artisan partnerships. So we were just kind of like buying a few things here and they're putting them on the shelf at Food for the Hungry, so that if any guests came through, they might check them out. We started really simple. But now I want to show you what our artisan partnerships look like in 2024.
Shoo.
So we're super thankful to now be connected with 60 artisan cooperatives and beekeepers as well. And that represents 760 artisans and beekeepers with whom we have connection. I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a similar pattern. You said our artisan partners. So you're basically enabling people to access a larger market for their products and for the work they're already doing.
Yes, for the work that they're already doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of these, each of these circles represents a group of amazing people like Florida and her group who have skill and determination and vision. And so we're really honored to engage in relationship with these groups, to come to understand the kind of products that they make best, and then to place orders with them so that they can continue to fill their own vision for the development of their families in the rural areas.
Just amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's like really amazing and I like to say this, so all y'all who are on who are listening may have said this before, but like, it is not every kind of job where you get to hug the people who are like making a difference in their families and communities with connections like these. So it really fills me with a lot of joy. Yeah. Incredible
impact, and seeing the impact in the communities and the families and the personal lives. And I know for those of you who are already connected with Christy and already know the work of Azizi Life, like me, you probably have heard the stories and have been following the personal stories for years now. For those of you who don't know, we want you to get connected. This is amazing and exciting stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about our organization, because I think particularly for you guys who are watching, who are in the entrepreneurial space, in the development space, in the artisan space, first of all, much love and respect to you. And also, I thought that it might be really interesting for you to see how we have developed a sustainable model, because I know that is what we are all working towards. And so, so this is a bit about how we developed. So we started with this work with the artisans and their handcrafted goods. And it was a long process of kind of refining product lines and even understanding, like for me, who had not come from that background, like, what is a collection? What is the line sheet? Like, there was lots of vocabulary that at first when people asked me about it, I was like, let me just get back to you, because like, what are you even talking about?
And logistics.
So we have learned and grown along the way so much, so that now we have professional level collections of really, really beautiful products. You mentioned logistics. Yeah. So now we're skilled in like all the logistics required to get those products safely to different places around the world, including Vienna. Shout out to sisterhood. Yeah. You can find Azizi Life products in Vienna. We have our website sells from a warehouse in the States as well, and customers can also buy directly from Rwanda for their own shops or their own purposes. Yeah. So we started with the artisans, and then we Florida and her group hosted some guests for us, and they hosted them with this day-long experience of life in the rural community, in their like home and in their fields. and weaving by their side, that when we were done, first of all, I was like, this is like, in all my like 3 years in Rwanda at that point, this has been one of the favorite things I've ever done. And other people need to get to experience this. So eventually, with the help of some volunteers, we built a whole business around the cultural experience that Florida and her group had created for us. And actually, in the lower left-hand photo is a picture of my mom and dad, who Elizabeth knows very well, dancing with the ladies from Florida's group on their own experience day. Maybe we should make that a little bit bigger, Elizabeth, because yeah. So there they are dancing with those ladies. So that's our second social enterprise. Beautiful Creations works with beekeepers and their products, a cooperative of candle dippers, to promote their work and like bee related products. And just recently, a year and a half ago, we finished building a custom built campus, and now are able to offer hospitality at our cafe and event space, and different things like that. So Azizi Life is a family of complementary social enterprises. Yeah.
Now, I have a question for those of you who are listening live now, and also for those who are listening on the replay. Which of these makes your heart jump a little bit? Are you more I want those beautiful bowls and artwork in my life, in my home space? Are you more the hospitality? I want to stay there, live a day in the life, the experiences, the beautiful. Am I pronouncing that right, Christy?
Yeah, Beautiful Creations.
Beautiful Creations. Yeah, which one makes your heart go pitter patter? Because I think I'm definitely the experiences. That looks amazing.
Girlfriend, I can't wait. I really, really hope you can come, because
it's on my bucket list.
Yes.
Who's going to join me?
Yeah. All y'all should come. It's so good. Seriously. But speaking of things that make one's heart pitter patter, part of the design, and Elizabeth, if you want to, whenever you want to put us back up, is totally fine. But part of the design of our social enterprises is that each one is dedicated to give a portion of their profit into a local or national nonprofit organization that we also started. So we recognize that the business side of things has really important impact, opening income opportunities, serving clients with new experiences or the beauty of new products. But we also saw that there were other ways that we can make an impact. So Ubuzima Bwiza Iwacu, or Azizi Life Impact.
And say that again slowly.
Ubuzima Bwiza Iwacu. Yeah, it means like beautiful life here at home in Rwanda. Yeah, so through Azizi Life Impact, we do a number of different things, but the primary one is offering literacy classes to adults in the Kinyarwanda language. Here in the photo to the right, you see Florida herself. She is a graduate of the literacy program, along with, I think, 2 of the other ladies in her cooperative. Kind of took up the courage and the initiative to study, and have shared just what a huge difference it has made in their lives.
Now, I remember from my days of teaching literacy to adults in the USA, how this absolutely opens doors for communication with school teachers, for communication for jobs, communication for the post office. So what impacts are you seeing?
Yeah, and add to that list, like reading your own text messages, just the dignity of privacy, being able to fill out your own forms at the bank. One participant told us about the humility that he faced before learning to read and write, just being mocked at the bank when he tried to like do some significant transactions, and how after he finished, he was able to go back into that same bank with like pride and respect, and do his own transactions. It also enables people to step into leadership. And I'll share a little bit about that in Florida's group, to join their choir, to read the signs at the hospital, to know where they're going. Yeah. Just so many things. Help their kids with their homework. Yeah. 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 So you'll see on the next slide that actually since 2007, over 5,000 people have learned to read and write through the Azizi Life Impact Adult Literacy Program. And actually today, like maybe right now, my colleagues are at the local prison celebrating the graduation of hundreds of prisoners in the literacy program, giving them their like government issued literacy program completion certificates, sharing the treat of a Fanta. When I was there at the graduation ceremony at the prison, they had the prison band playing, and the and the prison dance troupe dancing. It was an awesome celebration. But also
the prison dance troupe.
Yeah. Yeah. But also part of our work, like all of this, I told you how, kind of what a point of weakness we started at in many respects. And so all of this has been empowered by God, by the people who he sent, volunteers and donors and opportunities that we could rise up to, and challenges that we had to climb to overcome. We have been so thankful. Yeah, we believe that life is in him. And so one of the things that we are really thankful to do is that for every literacy graduate, we offer them a gift of a Bible as their first book, that they can.
That's a big book. That's significant.
Too, yeah, lots of reading in there. Yeah. So even at the prison, they allow us to give the prisoners a gift. That gift. Yeah. So that's happening today. Yeah. So literacy, and we're really thankful for our donors, because the profit sharing or donation that happens from our businesses is awesome, and also not enough to cover all the costs to run.
I mean, you're talking 5,000 students at this point.
Yeah. Actually, finding one student is only $20 for their whole 6-month course. Yeah. But we're really thankful for our donors, and for all of you who are out there. Thank you so much. Thank you also to Amanda at Collaborosity. I saw that you were planning on coming, and thank you to Collaborosity for, Elizabeth, this is an organization that does what the name sounds like it does, but like collaborating with organizations, giving generously so that we can continue to be funded to do like projects like adult literacy. Yeah.
Right.
And just like a small note on that is that part of our kind of founding philosophy is that we never wanted to be an organization that just gave things away. We really wanted to honor the ideas and the efforts of the people with whom we're working. And so adult literacy, the program is free to participants. They're putting in their time and their efforts. But we see that as a way a resource to them so that they can continue to develop themselves and their families. Yeah. So even within our nonprofit work, and we kind of still maintain that value of sustainability.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to just show you, coming to the end here, so this is Florida's group again. And
you've been working with them at this point the entire process. So how many years? Wow.
The entire process. So like more than 16 years, we've known these women. They have demonstrated like determination in their craftsmanship, rising to excellence. Florida is a really gifted artisan. I really admire her for the way that she has diversified her skills and also diversified her income. The ladies and many artisans are investing in like farm animals, which, did you realize, are an appreciating asset? Because
yes. Actually, we gave, well, first I want to circle back 1 second. Is Florida this woman in the top picture, the top bubble?
Yes.
With the certificate?
Yeah, the top bubble.
Okay. Actually here in Vienna, one popular gift that we gave to the director of the kindergarten last year is a goat. And it's not a physical goat that we give to the director, but we gave her a certificate that we purchased a goat to give to a family, I think specifically a woman who wants to support her family. And so then she gets this animal that then she can milk and sell the milk and continue on. Yeah.
That is a great gift.
It's a great excellent gift. Yeah. Especially one thing that I know in my heart is many of us, and perhaps this isn't the right thing to say when you're selling artisans products, but I believe that most people have access to too much stuff.
Yeah.
We have access to too much stuff, and to which point it becomes a burden. And so it's better to give forward.
Yeah.
Rather than giving the kindergarten teacher another mug.
Right. But if you're going to buy a mug, make it an artisan made one. Because
absolutely, because then you're supporting. And how many people watching this are feeling this? Like I feel this in my heart of hearts. Yeah, we want to follow the trail of the cash. And what are we voting with our money? What are we voting for? Are we voting for yes, child labor? Or are we voting for no, I want sustainable business?
Yeah,
I really want to support.
And Azizi Life in the U.S. is a member of the Fair Trade Federation. Shout out to my Fair Trade Federation friends. And so we are committed to standards of ethical practice, like no child labor, and considering the environmental impact and those kinds of things. Yeah. So in these images, I just wanted to celebrate the impact that Florida and her fellow group members are making in their own families. They are rising in their skills. They're caring for elders and kids. They're investing in cash crops like coffee. They're continuing to host guests. Yeah. They're innovating. They're teaching other artisans. Restude, who's the woman at the bottom, in the bottom photo, she
with the blue hat.
With the blue hat, she graduated from the literacy program as well, and now is one of the elected or selected leaders in her community. Wow. So the women were already doing these amazing things, and then literacy kind of gave them the place and the voice and the additional capacity to step up into the leadership positions that they were worthy of. And
I love that. I love the way you said that. Step into the positions they were worthy of. But had been blocked because of confidence, because of literacy, because of a skill that they gained in 6 months and $20 US.
$20 US.
And also focus and dedication, because as everyone who has learned to read knows, it doesn't just come instantly. Like that is also an applause for each of them for going through that process.
Yeah. Yeah. And so much focus and dedication exemplified by these ladies. And also just like facing loss. I think two of the women, Restude on the bottom and Angelique with the on the left, their husbands have passed away, but they've continued to sustain their families through their weaving.
And what does that
Yeah.
mean in Rwandan community to have your husband pass away? Do they lose access to things? Like, how significant, or is that similar to in the US or in a Western European culture?
Yeah. Unlike in some contexts, I know that if a woman loses her husband, she also risks losing things like her land. In Rwanda, there is a lot of defense of rights and a lot of upholding of people's rights and women's rights. So that is not an issue. But
That's wonderful.
yeah. And for these women, because they have their own means of income, then it wasn't as like disruptive as it is for some families where the women were not previously earning prior to losing their husbands. And also as what I've learned from the cooperatives is that they really are supporting each other. They're celebrating each other's marriages and new babies, which we've had. You see Alice in the middle. She had twins. She has three kids, including twins, since we've met her. And they support each other through trials and losses in really, really beautiful ways. Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out. Speaking of community, we have Babian, who also just joined us on Instagram.
Hey.
So welcome.
Welcome. Yeah. So these ladies are just a representation of the impact within one group.
All the groups.
Yeah. And so we are just so thankful for the multiplication of impact that we have seen as we have collaborated, as we have loved, as we have been loved, as we have worked and struggled and celebrated and prayed and just welcomed resources coming in as well. So just a taste of so much impact that has happened, and we trust that there will be more impact to come. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So you can take us to the next slide. Are we ready to talk about how to get involved?
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of spreading the impact, I don't know if you're listening live or on the replay, these stories trigger something in me of excitement, of hope, of joy, of impact, and making the world a better place. If you feel that, Christy, tell us how we can get involved, how we can know more about your group, how we can contribute to the wonderful things that are happening, maybe how we can get our first choice of product that was in the first vote at the start.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So Florida here, and I will let you know. So one way is just to simply shop. When we talk to the artisans, which I get to do a couple of times a week, what they're telling me is that they are so thankful. They celebrate when they get an order, and what would really, really be helpful for them is like more orders. Yeah, and
I think as many business people who may be listening right now can relate to that. Like, yes, I need clients, I need customers, I need cash income to make the wheel move around. Yes, so more orders. Yeah, we can relate.
Exactly. So we made a coupon for you. So if you are in the US or can receive shipments from the US, you can get 25% off with this coupon, LinkedIn24, at azizilife.com. And I think Elizabeth will put this in the notes as well, right?
Yes. Yep.
And then if you are there, we have lots of different retail stores that sell Azizi Life products. Again, if you're in Vienna, check out Sisterhood. They have so many beautiful products. So one way is shopping. Another way is to donate. So maybe you have an organization like Amanda at Collaborosity. Maybe you're just an individual person who is interested in helping people to learn and read and write, or to kind of partner with us so that we can continue to grow. We would love to receive your donation and to partner with you in that. So that's azizilife.com/donate. And if you don't have funds, but you do have friends, oh, I just made that up. How is that? Was that cheesy? Right in the
I'm
chat
here
box.
for it.
That was cheesy. No, there are opportunities to fundraise for Azizi Life through the Just Giving platform. So that's at justgiving.com/Azizi Life. And then a great way to support and follow us is just on social media. So we are at Azizi Life on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and we are also here. Thank you. We are also here on Instagram. Also, please feel free to connect with me on Instagram. Don't connect with me on Instagram. I only have photos of beautiful flowers. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I mean, you can, but you'll just see flowers.
And they are beautiful. I've enjoyed them.
Oh, good. Yeah, but connect with me and Azizi Life on LinkedIn. That's a great way to
So
stay.
I noticed some of the links that I sent are not directly linkable. So I will follow up with that as soon as we are finished this session, which we're kind of wrapping up. But definitely do get involved. I know for sure I want to get to Rwanda. Absolutely. And Christy, I want to be part of that. As you mentioned, just meeting the people, hearing the stories, seeing the impact in people's day-to-day lives. It sounds like a perhaps once in a lifetime experience, unless you're Christy and get to see it every day. But also, some of these stories are also published on your website, aren't they? Is that where we can follow? And on Instagram. So these stories are being shared. This is a group that is open to interactivity from my experience. Yep. And they want to share their stories. They want to have involvement and exchange and are welcoming that.
Yeah. And if you are one of our colleagues, like in the industry, we also have a value of transparency. So we would love to share with you what we've learned along the way. And, if there's any way in which the lessons that we've learned through the victories and challenges can help you in the areas that you're serving artisans, or you're engaging in social enterprise, or you're working towards sustainable development models, like we would love to do that.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Oh, and if you are a designer, we also collaborate for custom products. Our team is experienced at that, and we love to do it. So yeah, reach out to us if you are interested in customized products.
And as I know, you also have a connection with a name of a famous person people may have heard of before, where you're selling products in, I'm being vague. I'm being vague. Am I being too vague? If some people like to do celebrity name dropping with, I don't know.
No, it's a build up.
What's that?
You're building up excitement.
I'm building it up. And so I know that some people have mentioned wanting to visit Rwanda specifically to see the gorillas, to go and see a specific research center. And can you tell us about a collaboration between Azizi Life and this famous place?
Sure. Yeah. So what Elizabeth is alluding to is that Azizi Life has the honor to offer our artisan-made products at the Dian Fossey Gorilla Center. You may or may not know that Rwanda is home to a large percentage of the world's mountain gorillas. And in our connection with the Dian Fossey Fund, we have created a special collection of products that are inspired by the nose prints of gorillas. So just as people are identified by their fingerprints, gorillas are identified by biologists by their nose prints. And so it's super fun to apply those designs into bowls and paintings and other things like that. So those are available there. Why is there a gift shop of artisan-made products at the Dian Fossey Gorilla Fund? Well, there was a campus that was built with funding from the Ellen DeGeneres Fund. And so she specifically had an impactful interaction with artisans during a trip to Rwanda, and requested that there would be artisan-made goods represented. And so that is why we're on the Ellen campus of the Dian Fossey Fund. And and during the grand opening, Ellen came and she loved what she saw, and she interacted with our team and with some of the artisans, including Florida, actually. Florida has met Ellen DeGeneres. I did not put that. So if you would like one step to Ellen DeGeneres, come to Rwanda, be hosted by Florida and her group, and you will be the closest that you may have ever been to Ellen DeGeneres.
There you go.
But we're really that has been an awesome connection, and one that has really helped to increase our reach. You may have even seen an Azizi Life basket on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Yeah, there was one given to her as a gift. And
and what a really lovely showcase. Yeah, what a lovely showcase for the local artisans, for the local craft, for the local skill, for the culture, just to showcase in the beauty that is there present. I love that. I love that. Not only the animals, but also the people.
Yep.
Excellent. So one thing that I'd like to say in closing, but one thing I would like to say is that I would like to wrap this up. We're coming up on the hour. I absolutely want to thank you, Christy, for joining us today, for putting in the work to prepare and do this LinkedIn Live session with me. I absolutely appreciate it. Though many of you may not realize that we had scheduled this about a month earlier, but had to reschedule it because there is a cable that runs under the ocean, providing her internet connectivity that had been jeopardized. Yes. And so,
That's right.
We're here for it. We are sticking to it, staying focused, and focused on the stories, focused on the value, focused on the impact and the connectivity between people. So that is what I want to say thank you to you, especially today, Christy, for staying present and sticking to it so that we could have this session today. Yes. Excellent. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, shout out to you, friend. Well, I just want to tell people that Elizabeth is available. She didn't pay me to tell you this. She didn't even ask me
not
to tell
yet.
you this. This is but that not part of this process for me. So this is my first LinkedIn Live, and Elizabeth walked me through the whole process. She is this really interesting combination of super fun and really organized. And so that makes for a fun conversation, but also really informative and helpful process for people like me who don't have experience with a LinkedIn Live. to really understand, how does it work? How do you do it well? How do you prepare? What's needed? So yeah, so thank you, Elizabeth, for giving me more skills. I feel better equipped to do events like this, and I have a better understanding about how I can use it to make an impact. So yes, so shout out to you, friend. And I recommend working with Elizabeth if any of you are interested in expanding your reach on Instagram or on LinkedIn and beyond. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Your words mean so much to me, so much to me. And it's true. My mission is totally to empower you and you in the back who's hiding a little bit. Yes, all of you to share your story, do live events, raise your voice and connect with others, being you. And if you want to join me, help make the world a better place by sharing your story, I'm encouraging you. Add this to the stage. Ta-da! I have a quiz. You can take a quiz. It just takes a minute or two. 3 minutes is the maximum. Take this diagnostic quiz just to assess very quickly. As Christy said, there's a lot of different moving pieces, and I've boiled them down to 4 main pillars, just where you are, where you're strong, where you can improve, where you can have the greatest impact with the least amount of effort. I will also put this link in I'm having a bit of problems putting links in the comments, but I will do that as soon as we close this. So you can also do the screenshot with your phone and use that QR code. So that is for you, and I'll put the links in the comments. So again, thank you very much. Now, Christy, we have technically 2 minutes. So if we close this here, we say thank you to everyone for being live. Totally appreciate it. We can open it up for questions. If people have specific questions, specific things they want to know more about, we can open that up for Q&A, or we can just chat about our memories since we've known each other since basically diapers. I mean, the first time I traveled in Asia.
Friends, please put your questions.
Yeah, we are here for the questions. We welcome your questions. We welcome your thoughts. We appreciate your deep thinking skills. Yeah, and as Christy mentioned, there are a lot of...
What were you going to say about your first trip?
Yeah. So one memory I have about Christy, this was, I believe I was in college, and by college, by European terms, that means university. So I had finished high school and I was in college. So working on my bachelor's degree, and I was going to Asia for the first time. I was going to China, and I was thinking, I'm backpacking. I have to buy a backpack. And Christy's like, why don't you take mine? And so I did. So you were an enabler.
Yeah, an enabler.
You were totally enabled me to go and explore.
Yay.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Elizabeth and I tried to find the picture, the school class picture of when we were in kindergarten together. And we found an excellent picture of Elizabeth in in nursery school, of Elizabeth in nursery school. But I was not in her class that year. So, yes.
If we find it, maybe we can post it in the comments when we find it.
That would be fun.
So, yes, that's right. Instagram has now cut our connection because they only last for an hour. Then they will automatically cut us. So that is a fact.
Got it.
So thank you.
Instagram.
Bye, Instagram. Thanks for joining us. So thank you, everyone, for joining us live. And what I want to say is thank you, Christy, for telling your story. And I'm encouraging everyone to share your story with us. Let's get this conversation going. Check out the website for Azizi Life. Connect with both of us on LinkedIn. And we wish you a wonderful Friday, wherever you are and wherever you are in your journey. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Ciao.
Thank you.